Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for stopping by again. Today we've got some of my highest tier Soviet tank lineup on a battle in Finland. A nice domination battle. Starting out with my Object 120 because I bought it to boost my Soviet high tier research gains, and that's what I'm going to use it for, which means I'm going to use it. Now, most of the time I will use my T-55A until I got the Object 120 would be my first spawn, would be the T-55A, because I genuinely enjoy driving the T-55A. I actually found it to be fun comparative to most of the T-54 other line. And I actually like the T-62 as well, but I generally drive the T-62 separately just because of the reload rate and a couple other things that are kind of, in my opinion, inferior to the T-55A. So, as we start out, and I'm going to try and get up over this hill and hopefully use the fairly impressive gun depression that the Object 120 has to go hull down behind this hill and blast away at any enemies moving up in the B point or anywhere around the center of the map. So I'm kind of just watching for that ridge line to see if anybody's moving yet before I move up to make sure no one is already in position, and waiting for me to move and spot me as I try to get myself into position. This was a battle from October the 1st, 2017. Before I forget that part. And I like to lead with the back of the Object 120 to kind of remove that side profile as much as possible and keep as little of the first target for, I think the back of the turret actually took the tree down there. It was kind of weird, but anyway, I moved forward here and saw a whole bunch of enemies, including a Chieftain Mark 10 that I bounced my APDS off the front of his Choblam armor, so I guess that's good. That's kind of how it should be. I almost took a shot at that M60 to the right, but then I decided to put a shot through the top of the Conqueror's turret, which did not bounce. The M60 backed away kind of smartly, and then I noticed this M551 up there in the back, and as soon as he stopped moving, that was a fatal move on his part. And I blew his ammo up and took him out. Now you can see the M60 who was off to the right here. You can see where he's shooting, and I'm going to sit on him for a moment, hope that he comes back out and get a shot at him, and then ultimately decide if I have to take a shot. I'm going to guess and take a shot, and at least aim at the tree if I can help it, and take the tree down in front of him. And at least deny him his cover and maybe mess up any view that he has when the tree falls on him. I was hoping to hit him, but I at least took the tree down. And as I'm waiting for the tree to fall out of the way, and hopefully reveal him to me, as I'm getting ready to fire another shot, sweep over, make sure there's nobody else coming, and then if you don't move and you fire off enough shots, someone is going to see the smoke and fire from your shots, and that's exactly what happened. I should have moved, but I was still in a pretty good spot. MBT-70 picked me, or MBT-70 picked me off. Oh well. I did know exactly where he was based on the kill cam. So as soon as I respawned, I got back in and marked him, especially since we had two friendlies right next to him. Came back in my T-62, which I'm chose as my second spawn, basically because I'm trying to finish up the artillery modification for it. And the T-64A 1971, who was right behind the spot where I marked, got revenge for me and took out the MBT-70. So it's always a good idea to mark enemies on your map, on the mini-map for your team, especially if you want to, you've got enemies nearby. When the kill cam tells you where an enemy is, take advantage of that. Mark them for your team, or type it in chat if you're dead and unable to respawn. Anywho, I got a kill damage assist for the Object 120 on the Conqueror that I had damaged earlier, so a little more premium score research boost for the Object 120 there. So, not a bad battle, honestly, for the 120. Not the highest score there, but still pretty good research because it is a premium tank destroyer and gets a pretty good bonus there on its research. So we don't hold any caps. The enemy holds the only cap that's been taken so far. But we're actually not in that bad of a position yet. We're going to have to move pretty soon. But it wasn't too bad. We were doing alright. Our guys are pinned over on the side at the C point, as you can see on the minimap on the G3 and G4 squares. And we've got a lot of progress over on the A side, but someone inexplicably went all the way beyond the A point to the D7 square, and I'm not entirely sure what he was doing there, except harassing the guys overwatching A. But our team is actually arrayed fairly well across the battlefield, spread out pretty well and in some pretty decent positions, so we did have an Object 120 start moving in to take out the A point, and I'm going to now push up and see if I can get the B point. Now there's a MBT-70 who's getting marked over here to my side, so I'm moving in on him first, but he got taken out by the Object 120, so I just verified that he was dead and then moved on to capture the B point. Our team has captured the A point, neutralizing the ticket bleed, so well done to the team over there at the A side. And I'm going to move in with this ASU-57 and take the B point and swing the ticket bleed back in the other direction. So now, with the B point fairly well safely in hand, I'm going to swing over to the C side and see if I can help the pinned down guys down there in G3 and G4. That's where they're talking down there about can't move and pinned in the chat. So there's multiple enemies down there that they're marking and talking about that they can see, but they can't do anything about. And the ASU-57 just got taken out by an M60A1, who you'll see in just a moment. Now, I'm sure that bomb being dropped there was aimed for the ZSU-57 right behind me, but it may have been aimed at me. I was just glad that we were both able to move the heck out of the way. So I moved through this little valley cut here in the mountain range, ridgeline, whatever you want to call it, and pop out to the C point to see what is pinning our guys down. And it doesn't take very long before you notice multiple shapes moving over there to the right. Anticipated a little too much on where the M60 was moving to and shot a little too far ahead of his commander turret. Thought he was going to get up and get a shot on me before I was ever going to be able to get a chance to reload, but for whatever reason he shot the ASU-57 behind me instead. And I moved to charge on him and then got hit by a Chieftain Mark III who was hidden up, actually hidden pretty well, up on a hill, as you'll see there. However, that hill is a very distinct position on the battlefield and let me know right where he was, so now I know I can mark two guys. The one that I can see and the one that I just put my mouse cursor on, so another immediate mouse mark on the guy that killed me to let him know this is specifically where that guy is. I'm pretty sure they know someone is there, but all I know for sure is they know where the guys are that are shooting at them. And if that Chieftain rather, is not shooting at them, just waiting in ambush, he's going to shoot him in the back as they go past him and try and go for C. So I'm going to haul in my Object 906 as fast as I can, get up to the B point again, make sure the B point is secure. As we are already holding 2 points, I don't need to go for the C point. But once I verify that B is secure, I will push over to the C again and see what I can do to help those guys and try to get revenge on that Chieftain now that I know where he is too. And it was a good thing that I started moving here because the guy in chat was asking if he was clear to move, and he definitely was not. There are still 2 enemies down there in front of him, so he's definitely very not clear to move yet. The Chieftain has been hit. He's marked on the minimap, so someone actually hit him and gave the damage marker on the map, so someone spotted him there. So I can stop marking him on the minimap to make sure guys are aware that he's there. They've hit the M60A1 as well. There's the Chieftain Mark III taken out by our T-64. So good work there on him for being patient. And right as I get around the corner to get a view on the M60A1, he J's out or something. Not sure. But I put a shot in him just to make sure that was the actual guy, and it was. For whatever reason, he may have shot with a broken breech and it registered as a suicide, or he J'd out. I'm not entirely sure what happened. The F-86A5 there was trying to strafe our Object 120 and clip something on his way down. I'm not sure, trying to pull out, I guess. So now you can see our team swooped in from the north and took the C point, and now we've got 5 guys over at C and basically no one over at B. We do have one Object 120 back there watching, but he can only do so much in a 120. If anything spots him, he's a hull break. So I'm going to move back up to the B point and make sure I'm in a position to guard against anyone trying to take that. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to yawn there. As I was saying, get into a position to try and stop anyone who's trying to sneak in and take the A point from us. So that's where I'm going to hold here and just sweep over on the horizon up to A and make sure no one's getting up on that ridgeline to try and snipe. And I'm fairly well covered from a long-range shot over towards my left from the B point or those ridgelines, so I'm pretty safe to watch up towards A. Plus, I assume the Object 120 is watching the draw directly to my left that comes out from their spawn towards the B point. Didn't see anybody towards A. I'm going to push up here and swoop around and get over near where my Object 120 is and see what I can do. And I look over to my left, and there's a Chieftain driving itself right up into the B point. Very conveniently, he stops, gives me the easy, perfect side shot for the Object 906's gun, and took him out. And also, kindly of him, he gave us the opportunity to recapture the B point. So that ridiculous gun on the Object 120 and myself in the Object 906 moved back in, recaptured, got another free capture. Pretty good. Some of the score just kind of fell right into my lap in this battle. Now I heard someone shooting up here to the left over the top of this ridge, and then just saw a shot go by there right as I looked in the team scores. Now I can see the guy up here, and I'm waiting for my gun to come down. As soon as I crest, I fired, and I just barely deflected off the bottom of his gun barrel. If my shot had been a millimeter lower, it would have punched right through into the crew compartment and killed everybody. As it is, his return shot with the APFSDS killed me, of course, as it's always going to. And I decided not to use my spare Object 906 and rather come back in the IL-28, as we've got the battle pretty well in hand and we don't really need tanks. Also, I like to save my spare vehicles, my backup vehicles, for battles where it's not decided yet, or where we have some chance of making a victory in a comeback, or where the enemy might have a chance of making a comeback victory. This battle, they really didn't, in my estimation, from what I was seeing in the battle, so came back in the IL-28 to finish off the T-95E1 if I could spot him, and then just provide air cover. Spotted what I thought was a tank, but I believe it was just a burned out tank Hulk that was still there from someone who'd been killed early and hadn't been able to respawn. Oh well. However, nicely in the chat, someone talks about an M551 on the rocks overlooking A, and I know I can roll in on him, and then sure enough, I spot him right up on the rocks, right as advertised. Get some strafing hits into him, mark him for the team, pull up, and find it really difficult to get the tail gunner into position now as you overfly something. As you see a BTD trying to chase me, but there's no way he's going to catch me as I was coming out of a dive. So I have not had very good luck getting the IL-28's tail gunner on a target as you fly past it for a secondary strafe marking. Did get a kill assist on the M551, so that's a good start with the IL-28. You can see the BTD bombed out an Object 120 there, but I was able to catch him in a turn and come around with the 23mm in the nose IL-28 and blow his wing off. So pretty good battle, and basically did alright with every vehicle I brought out in this battle. Came in low for a sweeping pass to look for anything moving or listen for any enemies firing. And as I was about to climb out and make a loop around again, the hostile team had lost all vehicles, and that was it. Not too bad. And they even got a couple of extra spare vehicles out of it. Not too bad of a result. all told. First place, almost 65,000 lions, 6,200 vehicle research, which finished me up the SU-100P, which I was all excited to get, and then the next day I did the first 10 for it, as you guys have seen. But this battle was pretty good. First place with a whole bunch of awards, and a pretty decent kill feed too. So not too bad of a battle overall. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks for checking this one out. See you later.